Greece within inches of going bankrupt and inching their way towards some type of friendship with Russia. The Pope's encyclical on climate change, that's causing quite a stir. And the Clintons go from scandal to scandal. Is there any good news in the world? I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
Part of what is incumbent upon us as human beings is to act upon what is important, okay? And that's on a personal level, a familial level, a family level, on a church level, on a state level, county level, global level. In other words, the pressing thing sometimes has to have attention, has to have action, must be resolved. So, I'm like you, watching the news, listening to the news, looking at Iran. They voted, in case you missed it, to ban any Western inspectors from looking at any military sites. They said, you could have nuclear inspectors come in and look at our nuclear sites, but not any of our military sites. But what if they put nuclear things in a military site? Anyway, I want to hit the brakes for a second and just kind of do an end run and come around to some of those things by way of exhortation and personal story. Can we get a close shot on this, please? This is what is called, I know that most of you might not recognize this is called a flip phone. I just flipped it open, flipped it shut. Why do I have this flip phone? I have this flip phone, it cost me $50, by the way. I have this flip phone because I lost my godless device, my iPhone 5. I lost it. When did you lose it, Randall? Oh, it's been at least 10 days. It's going on 2 weeks. And so finally I broke down and went to the store and said, look, I know this will turn up. I know the phone is going to turn up somewhere, some crazy place. Got kids, animals, who knows? But it's going to turn up. In the meantime, can I please buy a really cheap phone? And so I spent $50 on this not as godless device. We could call this a dumb phone. This is not a smartphone. This is a dumb phone. So I have a dumb phone. Now, my iPhone, and some of you have iPhones and Droids and all these different crazy devices, and they're really cool and they do a lot. I mean, after all, you can go in any restaurant, go in any bowling alley, go any place really, and see everyone dedicated, the precious, dedicated to their godless device. And I really do try to not be among those people. I'm an elitist, right? I only use my godless device occasionally. But all kidding aside, as I've been going forward, searching, turning the house upside down, resorting to buying a dumb phone, I thought, well, what really matters to me with that? What do I have in it that I need or that I want? What matters to me? The first thing is that I lost all my contacts, okay? I'm one of those foolish people who didn't back up his contacts. So I have contacts all over the country, people that I love, people that I would like to talk to, who I now cannot call because I don't have their phone number. So that's been a little bit frustrating. Some of them I have email addresses. I could email them and say, hey, send me your phone number. I lost my phone and my contacts. And I've done that with a few. So that's number one. I lost my contacts. Number two, I lost some music. You may know that I am a musician and I write songs. Got a couple albums that we cut in Nashville. All the music you hear on our show is original music, comes from us. And I had a lot of songs that I had recorded on my memo app, where you hit a button and it starts recording. So I would stick it on the piano and I would record. And I write enough music where I just can't possibly remember it all. And so all of that is gone. That's all lost. Oh, look, someone's calling me on my dumb phone right now. I don't know how to turn it off. Anyway, this is in real time. They have to know this. All right. So I lost my contacts, I lost music, and photographs, photos and videos. So I'm thinking, what? I really can't think of much else that matters to me. So for my music, what do I have to do? All right, if I have to take a step back in time, for my music, I need to just go ahead and use the recording studio. We've got a recording studio here. Rather than use my godless device, let's use good old-fashioned recording device. For my contacts, I could do something as outrageous as have a Rolodex. You know, a good old, is that what they're called? Yeah, not a Rolex, not the watch, the Rolodex. I've still got one floating around that I've had for almost 30 years. Or I could make sure I back them up in my computer, but what if my computer crashes? What if I lose my computer? Having a Rolodex with hard numbers, that would be good. And then for photos, I mean, I was thinking I've got to ask my daughter if she'll put together some books. Have you ever seen those things you can do online with your godless device where you can put all these photos in different pages and they will actually print you a hard copy, a beautiful book? Because I have way too many photos in my godless device. You just take too many because it's free. Click, 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 and then it takes you forever to go through them. So, what matters? Our friends, our family, music, very simple, very basic things. Those are what matter.
Hey, everyone's been asking me, when's Unstoppable coming out on DVD? Well, it's here. And I have created my own deluxe signature version of Unstoppable that contains not only the movie, but over 5 hours of additional curriculum and study guides for your family. It's perfect for your homeschool, educational facility, small group Bible study, and family devotions. And I'm going to share with you some of the spiritual warfare that surrounded the release of this film. This box set also includes extended scenes, new music videos, the inside scoop on the whole Facebook controversy. So what are you waiting for? I made this special version with my family in mind, and I know your family will be blessed by it too. Unstoppable 2.0 Deluxe Signature Version, available only here at KurtCameron.com. I can't wait for you to experience what's inside.
We need someone, or maybe 2 or 3 someones, to run against Hillary in the Democratic primary, the Democrat primary. I am looking for people, 1 person, 2 people, to run in the Democrat primary. I'm throwing it out there, okay? I say I'm looking for people, we, the body of Christ. Let me backtrack and explain. In 2012, I, yours truly, I ran against Obama in several Democrat primaries. I did not win any of the primaries. But I ran to prophetically speak because by law, TV stations are required. Any TV station that has a commercial FCC license, all your ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox affiliates, Time Warner affiliates, if they've got a license to operate a television station, they are required by law to run television commercials of federal candidates. Okay? So I ran, and I had some pretty hard-hitting commercials. Interestingly, and forgive me if you already know this, but if you look at this map of Oklahoma, I actually won 14 counties. I beat a sitting president in 14 counties in Oklahoma in the Democrat primary. I carried the entire panhandle. Still waiting for them to call me to serve as president. I beat him by running ads, by raising money and spending money to run ads on television stations saying that he was a promoter of child killing, that no Christian could in good conscience vote for him, that he was sympathetic to Islam, and obviously Islamic violence is the greatest threat in the world today on an immediate level of being murdered. I just pummeled him. Now, the reason I would love to see someone run against Hillary in the Democrat primary is because you can hammer her, boom, at her base. Do you know that 55% of Roman Catholics voted for Barack Obama? 55%. Almost a third of evangelicals voted for Obama. This is so evil. It's so sinful. It's so insane that it almost defies imagination. But part of us as the body of Christ, part of how God uses us is to blow a trumpet, to do a wake-up call. So you could run, someone you know could run, and do a wake-up call and say on television in a Democrat primary that no Christian can vote for Hillary in good conscience because she is promoting the murder of innocent babies. She is promoting the desecration of the sacrament of marriage. All right? You could just say those two things. And maybe it would be a wake-up call to some Roman Catholic Christians and evangelical Christians and Baptist Christians who, for whatever reason, are voting Democrat, and party line Democrat. They're voting for Hillary. They're going to vote for Obama, whatever. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This show is nonpartisan. If I had the chance to vote for John Boehner, I wouldn't. I don't trust that man as far as I can throw him. I helped a young man run against him in a primary for the very reason I'm talking about with Hillary. Please pray with me that someone will have the guts, who knows how to raise money and is decent in front of a camera and would run some hard-hitting ads, who will run against Hillary just to be a trumpet call, waking up Christians. You can't ethically vote for Hillary. Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today. If you were here, I was born in 1959. Let's not even go there. But imagine being alive in 59, thinking, reasoning adult, okay? I think about 80% of the public went to church at that time on a regular basis. We had good university systems. They weren't passing out birth control in our high schools. I mean, just start to go down the list. Now imagine with me, somebody, a politician, standing up and saying, here's what I want, my fellow Americans, vote for me. This is what I want to do. I want to kick prayer and the Bible out of our public schools. I want to make pornography available across the board, across the country, across the world in the name of free speech. I want to distribute birth control to young girls and young boys in the 9th and 10th and 11th grade because we all know that they're going to have sex anyway. So let's at least teach them how to have safe sex and perhaps not get a venereal disease and hopefully not get pregnant. But alas, for those who do get pregnant or do get a venereal disease, I want to make sure that those teenagers can go to a Planned Parenthood without their parents' knowledge, without their parents' consent, and that they can be treated for a disease and maybe even a life-threatening disease, or if it's a young girl and she's pregnant, they can dispose of the unwanted pregnancy. They can get an abortion. Should I go on? Someone in 1959 saying, we really want a culture where Bruce and Adam can get married, where Bruce and Adam can kiss on television, hold hands, show affection in a park where our children are, or Sally and Susie. Now this is somebody who's saying what they want, standing up in a room. I want a world in which Christianity is held in contempt, but Islam is treated with kid gloves. I want a world in which television series, forget Ozzie and Harriet, forget these family westerns. No. I want television series about housewives. Yes, housewives and their forbidden relationships. How far do you think a person like that would have gotten? Really and truly. Do you think they would have gotten out of the starting block? You think that many people would have said, oh, wow, I want to vote for this person? What we have seen in America, in the decimation of the ethics of this country and the unraveling of society, is largely due to leadership. Lack of good leadership on one hand, and very profoundly dedicated and courageous evil leadership on the other. Things like this don't happen in a vacuum, okay? Somebody committing a sin in secret is not the same as saying, this sin is not a sin at all, it's normal, and it's my right, and I want everyone to be able to rejoice with me that I have chosen this sin, and everyone else who wants to commit this sin to be able to do it as well. Murder is my right. So, one of the reasons that in this program, I am so constantly obsessed with what is going on at a leadership level is because leadership, throughout history, you can see it, leadership is what usually, not always, but usually defines the tone or the ethics or the culture of a nation. I mean, think about it. In Rome, for example, for 3 centuries, 300 years, Christians were oppressed and brutally persecuted at times. Why? Because of the leadership of Rome. And when Constantine's mom converted and then prayed for her son, and then Constantine converted, there was a change of the direction of the leadership, and suddenly Christians weren't persecuted anymore. And then, because of leadership, the public worship of pagan idols was forbidden. Okay, this is all leadership. It's all related to leadership. We are desperate in America for righteous leadership, courageous, righteous leadership. And right now we have a stable full of wicked, godless leaders like Obama, and godless, or maybe not godless, maybe he's not godless either, but at least courageous, foolish wimps, cowardly, foolish wimps like John Boehner and Mitch McConnell, all right? I don't know which is worse, the aggressive traitor or the one who works with him behind the scenes, the Judas. But I know this, we're overrun with wicked leadership. And if this country is going to be restored, if this country is going to be saved, it's going to take a restoration of righteous leadership. Maybe you could be a part of it, or maybe you could help bring it to pass. But you sure as heck had better be focused on it, because much of the future of our country and of our children and of our grandchildren depends upon what type of leaders we have. I have been a leader in the pro-life movement for 30 years. And sadly, we have not prevailed in our goal to make it a criminal act to kill an unborn baby. There's reasons why we have failed. I wrote this book, A Humble Plea, to Catholic bishops, to evangelical clergy, and to lay people, explaining where we went wrong and what we have to do to prevail. We've made this available as a PDF online for free. I encourage you to go and download your own copy. Why does a nice guy like me keep getting thrown in jail? I have been arrested almost 50 times and spent over a year of my life locked up in various prison facilities. And I wrote a book, many books. In fact, one of them is called Why Does a Nice Guy Like Me Keep Getting Thrown in Jail? It's a theological work, answering those who say that the church should not be involved in politics or that we should retreat. I encourage you to get it. In fact, get one and give it to your pastor. I have no fear of the future. Let us go forward into its mysteries. Let us tear aside the veils which hide it from our eyes, and let us move onward with confidence and courage. Sir Winston Churchill. As I told you earlier in the program, I have obtained a dumb phone because I lost my smartphone, my godless device. Hopefully it'll turn up. But as I have gone through this last 10 days looking for it, not being able to find it, as I mentioned, I lost my contacts. There's people I need to contact, haven't been able to contact them. I lost music that meant a great deal to me because I wrote it and I recorded it. I lost pictures and videos. So as I've been praying and thinking and walking, before the Lord, what matters? What mattered? What mattered to me that was on that phone? And then even taking a step higher, a little bit more epic, Lord, what matters? A Christian existentialism is not our friend. Existentialists say there's really no meaning to life. What difference does anything make? All right? That's kind of a layman, sloppy way of saying it. And I fear sometimes we get that way. Other people, other Christians, think that Christian entertainment is where it's at. And we go around from the latest rush. What's the prophetic conference over here? What's God saying over there? Who's the latest Christian icon star that we're all going to look at? We have to rightly discern what matters. And then make our hearts and our souls and our time and our intellect and our attention available to that thing, focused on those things. If we were honest with ourselves, if we were truly honest, there's an old expression. Nothing focuses a man like knowing he has a fortnight to live. A fortnight means 14 days. Nothing focuses a man like knowing he has a fortnight to live. There's one other old expression. It says, happy is the man who always has the day of his death before him. And every once in a while when you see old art, Christian art, saints, Jerome translating the Bible, you'll see a skull next to Jerome and others. They literally would have a human skull next to them to remind them of their end. So as I close this program, I want to encourage you, pray and say, God, what really matters? And take time to be quiet. Turn off the TV, get alone, somewhere alone, in a church, in the woods, somewhere. Say, God, what really matters in this life? What really, truly matters? And then say, Lord, help me to focus on your will for those things. Help me to be your servant for those things. I want to focus on what matters because I want my life to matter for you. you.